Hello everyone and welcome to the next match in the Intel Extreme Masters Season 2 Finals. It's once again the group stage. This time it is a human versus undead matchup with the Frenchman ToD spawning on the right hand side as human, of course, in his beloved dark green. He's starting with Altar and Barracks first, and his opponent from Finland, whose Altar is just as fast as the Altar of ToD, even though he's complaining here that the game has started already. It's Elfi, who's starting, as I said, with Altar, Cigarette, and a slightly delayed Crypt, so this could still turn into a late Fiend build, or just a full-on Ghoul build, where the Ghoul production doesn't start all too quickly. So Elfi's results have been somewhere, middle of the road-ish. He has been able to take down Paladin with 2-0, but he has also lost against Lucifer with 2-0. And on the other hand, his opponent, let's just quickly take a look, it is the Death Knight against the IEM. His opponent, ToD, has not shown any weakness thus far in these finals, taking down both Happy and Lucifer with 2-0. And we'll see if he's going to be struggling here or if he's going to take down the third undead player in a row. So once again, we see his usual scout farm a little bit up front. The scout acolyte is arriving, shop is coming, and yeah, it looks like we're gonna see a late Fiend build here. So this is the exact same late Fiend build that is still often used these days, especially of course in human versus undead. And ToD, on the other hand, once again, I've said it previously, has a lot of spots he can start with on this particular map. I think thus far we've only seen him go for the little green one first, and he's gonna stay true to that. And I mean, why not, since thus far he has always been able to come out on top after starting like this. Death Knight is heading across the map. The undead this time is not gonna be stealing any mercenaries, even though he really seems to be trying. Gloves of Haste for ToD. Once again, the Water Metal is dying here before the Death Knight arrives. But actually, the Forest Troll Trapper could be going to the Death Knight, and that's exactly what's happening. First XP here for him. The Scout Acolyte is forced to suicide. So ToD is feeling the consequences of basically employing one footman to go after the Scout Acolyte, lacking a little bit of damage output, not bringing an additional militia to compensate for that. Therefore, a bit of experience on the DK here initially, which means this spot is not going to be enough for level 2 for the IEM just yet. Arcane Tower about to finish, so ToD's base is looking somewhat healthy. IEM is taking a few hits here, but with the Gloves of Haste he can really deal some damage to the Death Knight as well. First creep has fallen here. ToD is not really willing to hit this Null Brute down to under 100 HP with the DK being nearby, but now that he sees the DK is very far away, he is willing to risk it. And who's getting the last hit here? Well, the Skeleton is trying to and getting somewhat close, but ToD is getting the last hit. As you can see, still on level 2 though, because he lost the one creep to the Death Knight. He's trying to get an ensnare on the Footman here by waking up the creeps, but they are paying attention. And ToD with 5 militia here. Where is he going? Straight for the expansion. Needs to make sure not to hit any of those creeps, because then he'd get poisoned and ensnared and he'd be in a terrible position. First Fiend of Elf, he's just chilling here. The second one is in production, and he's not willing to bring those to the fight just yet. Coil onto the IEM, that's not going to bother him too much, at least for the time being. Elfie is really putting a lot of emphasis on dealing damage to the IEM. This creep did go to the Death Knight. He's getting very close to level 2 on his own. The creep camp has been finished. Nevertheless, though, another Gloves of Haste. While it's decent for some damage output, it's certainly not the item ToD was hoping for. Either Claws or Circlet would have been much better for him, since he's doing a lot of, attack animation cancelling and stuff. And, attacking and then chasing and attacking again, and the Gloves of Haste don't really come into play in those particular situations as much as they would in, as a Circlet or Gloves of Attack would. Alright, so where are the Fiends here? One Fiend is waiting down here, just killed a skeleton. Panda second has been picked up. New rod and a staff has been bought, and I guess he's going to be staffing to the fiend. Get some skeletons. The panda is not being seen by ToD, or did he see it? I think he may have seen it because he's turning around right now. And that is very important. He could have taken some crucial damage here. But now as he's being in position with his 500 footmen here, he may be able to deal with this a lot easier. Trying to go for the surround on the panda. He's not quite getting it. More damage dealt onto the IEM, who's really going to have to start running. But at the same time, the surround fits on the panda. Staff of Teleportation has been passed onto him though. So Elfi is paying attention here, trying to make the best out of the surround attempt on the fiend. Fits. One of the footmen is getting killed. The surround is still locked though. Arcane Tower is shooting at the panda and he's dropping under 70 mana. So no more Breath of Fire for the time being. The fiend has fallen. This expansion looks extremely safe. Only one fiend and two heroes, which are both out of mana on the side of Elfi. The only thing that's looking a little bit scary for ToD here is his low HP IEM. But there simply doesn't seem to be the damage output to continue keeping up the threat on the side of the undead player. Let's take a quick look at the base. Tier 2 is finished. Tier 3 is coming. One slaughterhouse is coming. Footman, peasant sees everything here, more or less, except for the slaughterhouse. This Death Knight, or even needs to make sure to get out of there alive. Is he able to squeeze past the peasants? ToD is really making life hard for him here, but he barely squeezes out. But this Death Knight, even is using the potion here, this Death Knight has no danger coming out of him. Okay, the panda is starting to do some creeping. Tier 3 is halfway done. Another fiend is coming. So we'll see if Elfi is going to be able to get into a decent position come late game. If he's going to be able to pose a serious threat to ToD, who's already starting to scout for counter expansions here. So yeah, early game was pretty good for ToD. Killed the fiend there, didn't take all too much damage. His expansion is up safe. His IEM is level 3 right now. Tier 2 is also almost finished already. And defend is coming. And well, once defend is finished, then I guess the pressure is going to be put onto the undead a little bit. Who's coming in from the bottom right now. Death Knight is being burned immediately. Do the Arcane Tower switch onto the panda? I think they should be, and they do so immediately. Panda burned out of mana here. Switch back to the Death Knight, who's also out of mana. Peasants are retreating, but the damage output just isn't enough. And ToD, he's sending the footman back. The IEM is chasing after another fiend, which was reinforcing here, but I have a feeling that one isn't going to be reaching the undead army. Another fiend falling here. And okay, a couple of peasants have fallen, but those are acceptable losses on the side of ToD. Tier 3 finishing now. Let's see if we're going to see the expected Lich third. Certainly with the fiends, that's the only choice that really makes a lot of sense. Like skipping third hero doesn't seem like a really reliable option here. Is he getting out of there? Wow, ToD is really, putting the pressure on all of these undead units here with these surround attempts. It's only 5 units, but he's making life so miserable for this panda. Look at it, he's even closing this around. I mean, yeah, that's the staff, but he's gonna have to go all the way back across the map. And no pressure whatsoever against this expansion. Tier 3 is not coming just yet. He's going for an Arcane Sanctum. Doesn't have a lot of lumber to continue attacking up, but it's actually double Arcane Sanctum. And yeah, Lich is coming. Boneyard is coming. And the second statue has just spawned. I guess Destroyer upgrade might follow shortly. But then again, there's also not a lot of lumber on the side of Elfi. Illusion of the IEM is doing some more scouting here. Does he see the Boneyard? Yes, he sees the Boneyard. So he knows that some anti-air is going to be necessary eventually. MK is out. The double Arcane Sanctum is a bit of a curious choice in my opinion. I mean, yeah, there's not going to be a lot of... does he have... Okay, he's going tier 3. There's not going to be a lot of Dispel with these destroyers. So yeah, maybe a Sorg or 2 wouldn't hurt. But I don't really see that there's a lot of pressure coming out of Elfi at the moment. So I feel like one Arcane Sanctum would have easily done it with a faster tier 3 tech. But I guess better safe than sorry. ToD thus far has definitely proven that he knows how to play human against undead in this tournament. And therefore, you know, I guess I can give him the benefit of the doubt here. Next illusion is doing some more scouting. The IEM and the Mountain King. Looks like he wants to get an engagement with these large numbers of footmen, since there's not really a lot left to creep, and these will, you know, drastically decrease in value as soon as destroyers or the first worm are on the field. So he's getting in there right now. Clap, inward potion used on the Mountain King, and Town Portal forced out of this Death Knight. And I guess he's getting his money's worth from these footmen. He's getting almost the entire creep camp here, plus the Town Portal, plus these two heroes need to be very afraid for their lives. Another Fiend is coming. I mean, he's been building Fiends this entire match, and look at what he's got to show for it. One Fiend is on the field currently. The first worm is gonna spawn soon. Is there... Okay, Blacksmith is coming right now. Guess eventually we'll just see this transitioning into the usual Knights flying machines again. MK continues creeping. This camp has been taken already by the Mountain King, which I don't think Elfie has scouted thus far. Well, the Mountain King has the big mana potion, so maybe that should have been a pretty strong sign already towards Elfie, but by the looks of it, he didn't expect this. Even brought a Sacrificial Skull here. Perhaps just get some regeneration while creeping. But I guess that's not gonna be, you know, happening. Couple more towers coming. Looks like he may be a little bit afraid of some aggression here, and I guess there's no reason to risk anything. He's in a very pleasant position. Already, I mean, look at it. 1,600 gold here. Tier 3 finished. Paladin is coming. Okay, control magic upgrade for the Spellbreaker. So does he want to take Skeletons? I mean, that's the only summon that there's really on the field for Elfie. It's an interesting touch, to say the least. And yeah, double workshop on top of things. So we're gonna see a lot of flying machines. And the Frostworm is dealing some damage to the towers here. Repair is coming by the peasants. 2 masonry upgrades already on those towers, which are making things difficult for Elfie. The Panda is constantly being burned here as soon as he's getting in range. ToD is really microing his Arcane Tower spell. Sitting down here, he's getting a staff. He's got a heal scroll, still has the big mana potion on the Mountain King. But I'm not sure if he really wants to engage already. But yeah, Town Portal is coming in. The workshops are about to finish. No flying machines just yet though. And Elfie is already retreating. Seems to be a little bit afraid. I think he could trade perhaps quite favorably here with the Worm. And with the large numbers of footmen that are here on the field for ToD. But I mean, those have reached their expiration date. By the way, Scout Farm coming here. Yeah, those aren't really necessary anymore. I mean, they're still here and he's still going to be using them. But they will be replaced with Breakers, Knights, and of course, those will be accompanied by a lot of flying machines. And for Elfie, I mean, he's still at 49 supply, getting web right now against the flying machines. But he's already falling way behind in army size here. He's got okay hero levels, level 2, 3, well, almost 3, 3, 2 against 3, 3, 1. Not even really an advantage there though. Almost 3, 3, 2. And 70 supply against 50. 2, 3, 4 flying machines. Not really the most scary numbers just yet, but if your worm has 280 HP, then yeah, those might as well scare you. 1 attack upgrade also on Breakers and Footmen. And Elfie is falling back, so what's the plan here? That's a big question for Elfie. Yeah, he's saving up some on 50 supply. He's getting another crypt. So what's the plan? A lot of fiends simply, or even a lot of gargoyles to try and surprisingly win the air fight perhaps against ToD. I mean, that could really, you know, help him perhaps turn this game around. Did he see the second crypt here? No, he didn't. If all of a sudden, you know, he showed up with like 10 gargoyles and ToD wasn't prepared with a sufficient number of flying machines, maybe Elfi could make something happen. Still saving up. I mean, he has to take some risk at this point. But I guess soon it's just going to be the human player who's going to bring the fight to Elfi. And if he doesn't break, then he's just going to be overrun. And even if he breaks, I mean, it's still going to be a difficult task ahead of him. Okay, he expected a counter expansion there. And the Acolyte kind of points towards the fact that Elfi may have been planning that. But I guess that's not going to be happening. One priest gets caught on his way out here, and the next round of aggression is going to come out of the undead player. ToD doesn't seem to care all too much. Creeps his paladin up to level 2, his AM up to level 4. Gonna grab another item here in the meantime. Okay, one of the towers is falling here. Maybe the rest of them are gonna fall as well. But a town portal will come in soon by the AM, and there is a large number of flying machines here to deal with the Frostworm. And I think Elfi is gonna have to trade town portals here. Not sure what he's waiting for. Okay, now the town portal is coming in. The Frostworm is gonna be surviving, though damage output doesn't seem to be enough. Couple of towers killed, couple of, well, like 2 peasants or so killed, and a town portal exchanged. On top of things, though, Talisman of Evasion found, and ToD actually not quite level 4 in his AM yet. But yeah, ToD is looking still in a very great shape. 1,400 gold saved up in the meantime by Elfi. Still not building anything. The main is okay. No, he's certainly not waiting for the main to run out. Oh, Panda finds the flying machines here. Guess we may be seeing some repair action soon. So a tower's coming by ToD. Very slow game here by the Frenchman. I mean, he knows that he still has the superior income. There is nothing left to creep on the map except for this one camp. So it's not like he by not doing anything, he gives Elfi the time to get any sort of advantage here. All he needs to take care of, which he once again is doing with this peasant, is that there is no counter expansion coming. Another kill here by the Mountain King. 2-0 upgrades, by the way, on the flying machines in the meantime. Still 1-0 on the breakers and the footmen. Death Knight is actually picking up the Ring of Regeneration. Well, then the Talisman of Evasion. Well, where did that one drop? I guess here. When he grabbed this one previously with the Paladin. And reveal. Somehow ToD knew exactly where the undead army was. And he's got the Magic Sentry upgrade here. Therefore, these Arcane Towers do have a reveal available every once in a while. And Elfi is going to have to get going here. I don't think fighting here would be the smartest of ideas. Mountain King has to be healed immediately. The Frostworm is taking a bit of damage by the flying machines, but given that the worm probably wouldn't have died, I guess he didn't want to expose these flying machines to another Breath of Fire. New Scout Farm coming, and Elfi is now breaking. ToD throwing another reveal at him. He knows that his opponent is now going into low upkeep. But it looks like ToD is just gonna sit back, creep more, and let Elfi come to him. Or wait for Elfi to finally commit to this expansion and then bring the fight to Elfi. And given that ToD has also saved up another 1,400 gold, I guess we're gonna see an army at least somewhat close to 100 supply. Probably, you know, simply a 100 supply army. He's hiding the gargoyles. Yeah, he wants to surprise his opponent with a lot of gargoyles. At the moment, there are 13 flying machines, I think. So imagine 10 gargoyles showing up here all of a sudden. That would be actually, that could be a really threatening surprise to ToD. And I guess another town portal will be exchanged here. Yeah. If he's not even trying to outrun this, and there is no point in doing so, the worm almost dying. Look at the damage output of these flying machines. At the end, it was the Panda, though, who secured a kill on one flying machine, I believe, with a Breath of Fire. By the way, some abominations also being added here of, you know, the initial slaughterhouse and a second one that was added. Just wondering if ToD is going to get wind of this eventually. He's got 2 Arcane Towers here and 2 more Arcane Towers here, so plenty of reveal available. And now Elfi is bringing the Gargoyles into the main again. 6 to be exact. Number 7 and 8 will be out in about just a second. But ToD is at 2000 gold as well. So what is Elfi gonna do here? Go for a big push or go for a counter expansion? Looks like the answer is he's gonna go for a big push. And it's 78 supply against 80 currently. Hero levels about equal. I guess a slight advantage for ToD there. Oh yeah, his Paladin actually got all the way up to level 3 from this camp. And found Clos +9. And ToD is actually still sitting at 80 supply. Now let's take a look at whether or not he's going to be breaking. Lost his first units here. Town Pod is coming in. The Gargoyles have not been revealed yet. ToD is now breaking. And now the Gargoyles are coming in. And that's going to be the big air battle that Elfi is going to have to win if he wants to stay in this game. The Gargoyles are coming in. The flying machines are pulling back immediately. Looks like ToD really doesn't want to commit here. Now the Gargoyles are coming in once again, but look at the damage they are taking. It looks like the numbers are just not enough, especially since there's no defense upgrade on the Gargs and there are 2 attack upgrades on the flying machines. In the meantime, the Death Knight gets nuked, and at the end of the day, even though ToD didn't go up to 100 supply, it was a very, very one-sided end fight. Also, the Zorks really came into play a lot more greatly than I expected, having a lot of those Gargoyles slowed, making it very difficult for Elfi to actually micro against the flying machines, which have a speed bonus anyways, but with the slow, of course, very much superior speed for the flying machines. But I guess this game was decided much earlier, when in the early game, basically, ToD was just able to play his own game without being challenged by Elfi, more or less without being challenged at all, getting his expansion up very safely, very quickly, going to tier 3 extremely quickly, to tier 2 extremely quickly. Elfi was never even close to being in a position where he could either seriously threaten one of ToD's bases or seriously threaten to get a counter expansion up because he had such, strong map control or anything like that. So ToD perhaps taking a little bit more time than was necessary, but I mean, yeah, it's an important tournament. So as I said during the game, better safe than sorry. In this case, he was safe. In this case, he was never in trouble, and he's taking the 1-0. And if second map is going to play out like this, then he's going to be taking the 2-0 on Secret Valley.